concerning the civil rights. We have the right to vote and share in parliament, and it's actually increasing. We can, after 21, we can do our passports alone. Everything is okay. Recently, we have gained something new. It was in the last year. We had the first women judge,
Judgment.
Yeah. This is recently. And we have like women in minister, mayor, in the rural areas, the mayor, Londa. Okay, so considering civil rights, it's okay. Concerning the roles of men and women, there is something you have to understand about our culture to get the point. In our culture, man's responsibility is to provide for the family. He is the breadwinner. Like if a woman works, and even if she has high salary, she keeps it for herself. And if she wants to put it in the house budget or anything, it's a compromise for her. She doesn't have to. Okay? So in our culture, the man is the provider for the family and the father before marriage. So, and even if you work, sometimes the father keep on giving you the pocket money. He said, it's not my business, I'm responsible for you. And they like it. Okay? So the role of men actually, the main role, he is the breadwinner of the family. Women, this is a different issue. Usually she is the housewife and she's the mother and she has to care for the children. So usually when husbands say, if you want to work, are you going to balance? Are you going to balance housework and work? The priority goes usually to the house. This is why men sometimes prevent wives from working. Are you going to balance? So it's mainly her role is a housewife, and that's why this is reflected on every other issue. That's why employment posts don't prefer women, because they know women will like. I know, for example, examples that engineers and doctors, after all this education and success, when they get children and they get a babysitter for the child, they notice that like the child loves the babysitter more. And she said, no, I leave work, I leave everything and stay at home. So that's why you will find in Egypt mostly men are higher than women when it comes to work. Final thing I want to tell you about here, you guys, if you want to add anything, I forgot to add. I'm telling you that something, the society is like moving towards it, slowly moving, not spreading, but started to appear a new mentality for women. Since in Egypt marriage age getting very high, like 30, 35, so there started a mentality for young girls like us that it's not my role to be just a wife. I need to work, I need to be successful, I need to build my career, and marriage is not a goal for my life. It's something in my life, but it's not the goal of my life. So this has started to appear recently, but it haven't spread yet in the whole society. Still girls say, I want to get married. Why do I care about education? I will go even to a simple job because I will leave it when I get married. This mentality is still there. Okay? Anybody want to add anything? I forgot to tell you something. Women has the right to get divorced, like to make a
She would go to the court and before this new law, it was only allowed like in Islam. There is something called al-isma. Al-isma is basically like the man gets the right to have a divorce, or it's sometimes like this isma is with a woman. She has the right to get a divorce, and the man is not allowed. So basically, like. Later on, they've created a law, a civil law, on divorce called khula. Khula is basically like if I'm a man, I don't have isma, and I want to get a divorce, I just go out there, I don't get any of my rights, I just ask for divorce. And same thing for a woman. Like this has basically helped women, like because mainly like isma is mainly with men, like it's a small percentage with women. So basically. Like this was created, like it's both for actually Christians and Muslims in Egypt, and I'd like to also add something that Christian laws in Egypt are differentiated to some extent from Islamic laws, like for the Christians and for Muslims. Any questions?
I just want to add something to this. I mean, before, when there was a man, usually this isma was usually for the man. I mean, it's just the exception when a woman is the one with the isma, and the one with the isma is the one who has the right to end the marriage at any point. So usually it was the man, and when there was troubles, if a woman wanted to get a divorce by court, this could take up to 3 to 5 years. And when she goes to the court, there must be like real bad reason. I mean, you cannot just go and say I don't like him anymore or I don't love him anymore. There must be something really bad. For
And you know, I just want to add something here. Because if a man, in religion, if a man and woman get divorced, he still pays for her, still gives her pocket money, even after divorce. But that's why she must like say a good reason for divorce. But in the Khula, he will tell you.
Yeah, but I mean, this Khula, it's a woman now can just go to the court and say, okay, I don't want any of my rights. I don't want this money of marriage and this money afterwards. I don't want this monthly pay or something. I don't want any of this. I just want to get divorced now. So it just takes so much less time, and it is now feasible. Now you can get divorced. You can get divorced. I mean, you don't have to have these whole reasons and everything. And I mean, recently there has been also a court just for marriage issues, and mainly for women issues related to marriage and children. There's been a specific court just for this reason. Yeah.
I would just add like to conclude, like basically all these laws, they do exist. Like women get like almost their full rights when according to law. And I'd like to add one other thing, that a woman, when she gets married, she keeps her name. She has the right to keep her name. They don't change their names in Egypt. But finally, like the major thing that is more important than the law is that society grows. In the sense of that basically like the culture itself is somehow stronger than the law. But
Yes.
yeah. So yeah.
Yeah, I just wanted to that example what you were telling about this Islamic divorce and
Khula.
the law, which is law, like
No, it's actually, I mean, its sources come also from the Sharia. It also comes
Yeah.
from the religion. I mean,
yeah. Basically, I experienced not experienced, but I noticed.
you got married in Egypt.
An example for that, because I was teaching one family where a woman said, the wife, she said that her husband already said twice, we have to get divorced. It was like the second one, and she was telling me that, so there's only the last one chance when he will tell, we have to get divorced now. And that's it basically. That cannot be together anymore. So basically, I think she didn't even know about such an opportunity that she can do something. So does it mean that you're saying that now you have this law that also she actually has any power to say that we are not divorced?
How many years ago was this?
No, it was now. It was like now she's telling me that.
Everybody knows it.
But there's something I want to tell you. In Khula, like the husband don't provide for you anymore because you can leave him just because you don't like him. But in divorce, he still pays for you, so it's different. Like in divorce, you have your rights. Your rights are safe. So maybe.
But in Khula, you abandon all your rights
Yeah.
and you just live on your own.
Like,
Let me go back to the differentiation. Like usually in marriage, there are two aspects of marriage. One goes with the religion, and the other one goes with the civil law. In Egypt, since the civil law is based on Sharia, which is the religion, the Islam, so this is like common. Was like if any Muslim is gonna marry, so the religion is the same exact way as the law. So it's not a problem. For the church or the Christians, basically when they marry, they have to marry in the church, which is the religion aspect, and then it should be approved and certified by the civil law.
The other way around. First civil, then religious.
In ours, they get the...
No,
yeah.
a Christian. Yeah. But in Europe, for example.
In
first,
Europe, yeah.
First
In
civil,
Egypt,
then
it's
First religion.
first religion, then it goes back to the government later on. In Christianity, they do not allow divorce. So they, like Christians, can get divorced by the civil law, because the civil law is based on Sharia, which is Islam, and divorce is allowed in Islam. However, they cannot get divorced with religion-wise. So it's a little bit complicated. Like whenever they're choosing, like they can go for the civil law, and they can get divorced like by the civil law, but they cannot get divorced by religion. So they can get like just a separation. They're not allowed to like marry or do anything. Going back to the Islam, the religion is pretty much close to the civil law, and the civil law gives you the right to divorce. However, the isma, which is the authority to divorce, the one who divorced, which is usually the man, divorced the wife, he has to pay like a lot of things, and he has to take care of the children and even like a monthly stipend basically that should be given to the wife and the apartment, and the wife gets the apartment. The apartment is hers. Like anything she bought before, it goes directly to her. And like a stipend, a monthly stipend, taking care of the kids, all of the stuff. This happened when the guy or the one who has the authority to divorce have the divorce. However, this was not very fair until recently, in the beginning of 2000s. And that's why they started this new law called khula, which is like just a right for the woman when she doesn't like her life or whatever. She goes and she asks for a divorce, but she loses one thing. And I think this can be quite a debatable conversation, because she loses all her rights. She does not have a right to get her apartment. She has no rights to get anything from the man later on, because she's the one who's requesting it. So when they get divorced, okay, خلاص, the man has nothing to do with the wife, and the wife has nothing to do with the man, and that's it. But if they go for the regular divorce, the Sharia one, which is the Islam, the man has to sustain like the life of his wife, even his divorce.
But I mean, the khula is also from Sharia. I mean, they started like the religious men started to trace sources of from the basis of the religion. They started to trace the sources of it and verify it, and then propose it to the parliament, and then it was issued as a law. I mean, it's also in the Sharia, but I mean, it wasn't being used. It was something that is present but not used. And I mean, many people could have known about it, but it wasn't allowed. So you could not just go to the court and tell them, I want to do this. It's in Quran. I mean, the court doesn't take by Quran as much as it takes by the law. So that's how it works.
So once you get divorced, you have the right to get married again, right?
Yes.
Okay, but is it socially accepted, like to get married again?
Yes.
But the problem with the
I mean,
Christians,
do men, it doesn't matter Christian or Islamic, do men like divorce women?
Are those
I mean,
question?
No, it's a very good question.
Yeah.
It's not okay, it's not right, and it will not be accepted that a Christian marry and then divorce and then get married again. He will be stopped by the religious side. By the civil side, it's totally fine.
Yeah,
So
that's
you
why I
can marry
asked
like
in
in civil law.
society if it's accepted.
It will not be accepted for the Christians if he does so. For the Muslim, it's okay. It's okay. He has the right and she has the right. If they divorce, they can get married one more time.
Problem is that usually if I'm a mother, I have 3 children or 2 children, whatever, usually women don't prefer to get married only if she is sure that this husband will treat her children as a real father. This is how it might be sometimes unacceptable. They say, no, I will be like, you might not treat him well or anything. But socially it's acceptable.